Welcome back to Psychology of Humans. If Zeno founded Stoicism, Epictetus lived it. Epictetus was born into slavery in the 1st century AD. He had no wealth, no political power, no status, and yet his philosophy became one of the strongest psychological frameworks ever created for resilience, responsibility, and inner freedom. His central insight was simple, but relentless. You are not responsible for what happens to you, only for how you respond. Epictetus challenged the common belief that freedom comes from control. You don't become free by controlling events. You become free by controlling your judgments. He taught that suffering does not come from events themselves, but from the meaning we assign to them. Insult is not harmful unless you believe it is. Loss is not devastating unless you judge it as unbearable. Fear arises when you assume something external controls your well-being. This is one of the clearest early formulations of cognitive psychology. Epictetus refined Stoicism into a practical psychological rule. Separate what is within your control from what is not. Within your control, opinions, values, goals, effort, responses. Outside your control, outcomes, other people, reputation, health, fate. Mental suffering comes from investing emotional energy in the second category. This principle is foundational in modern therapy. Epictetus made a crucial distinction. Responsibility is not blame. You are not to blame for what happens to you, but you are responsible for your interpretation of it. This removes both victimhood and cruelty toward the self. Psychologically, this creates empowerment without shame. Epictetus believed the mind must be trained, not inspired. Philosophy, for him, was daily practice. Observing reactions, challenging beliefs, rehearsing adversity, choosing virtue under pressure. This is psychological conditioning. Epictetus taught that desire causes suffering when it reaches beyond control. If you desire outcomes, you become anxious. If you desire approval, you become dependent. If you desire certainty, you become frustrated. But if you desire only to act with integrity, you remain free. Epictetus warned against outsourcing identity. When your worth depends on status, praise, or success, your mind becomes fragile. True strength comes from inner authority, living according to your values regardless of outcome. Epictetus and modern psychology. His ideas are embedded in CBT, ACT, resilience training, trauma therapy, emotional regulation frameworks. Epictetus understood that freedom is psychological, not external. Why Epictetus matters today. In a world obsessed with control, Epictetus offers clarity. You don't control life, you control yourself. That is not limitation, that is power. Final thought. Epictetus proved that freedom doesn't require power, wealth, or status. It requires responsibility for the one thing that truly belongs to you, your mind. Thanks for watching Psychology of Humans.